Yesterday was the 9th day of the protests in Elizabeth City over the death of Andrew Brown. And so I've been covering this. I live here, so I've been covering this since it happened. I've been here out in the streets since the very first day, so it's been over a week at this point. And so yesterday was the 9th day. Today will be the 10th day, and we'll see how it goes. So I got a Twitter thread here. And so I didn't get, like, good footage of this, but this first part here I posted was City Councilman Mr. Adkins said that the curfew would be lifted, presuming protesters did not block the bridge after curfew. And so now I want to say either he was lying to us, which is very possible, or he was being lied to and manipulated by the other members of the city council and the mayor because they know that he is a member of, like, you know, the movements here. So either of those things are possible. They did not lift the curfew, but they did push it back down to midnight. However, the Elizabeth City mayor or the city council, whichever one, also instituted this, and I'll get into this later. Blah, 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 blah. The only exceptions to the curfew are for traveling to and from employment, visits to stores, blah, blah, blah. So that's the other thing, is that, like, they're basically trying to have, like, a curfew pushed back so that people can drive to stores. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But I don't believe that this curfew was moved for the sake of protesters. I believe it was moved for the sake of small businesses. So, you know, I'll get into that later. And I'm sorry if I'm a little disheveled, but bear with me. So the march starts, and so this is like, you know, 40 minutes into the march because I was trying to get on the David Feldman show yesterday. That's right, the David motherfucking Feldman show. Round 2, folks. That's right, that's my second round on the David motherfucking Feldman show. So I'm going to give you my awkward ass experience. Okay, so I get invited on the Zoom thing, right? So I hop in. I can barely hear anything because there's car horns, there's chanting, right? There's all that stuff. And then I'm trying to hear the thing. I put my phone up to my ear, and David Feldman goes like 10 to 12 minutes over. You know, like, I join at like 5:58. Like, I'm hella punctual. And then David Feldman's going off on this rampage calling, like, Joe Biden a fucker or something. He was going crazy. He was out of control, man. And so, like, here I am trying to, like, say hello, but not knowing if I should say hello, not knowing if it's my segment, waiting to see if my segment's even coming. I'm so confused. I want to participate in the march, but, like, I'm off to the side with my phone. Right, and then David does this, like, break thing, like an intermission. And so during this intermission, I anticipated being able to speak to everyone. So I unmuted my microphone with the intention of, like, asking someone else in the Zoom room what's going on. But apparently, like, that was just on the stream as well. So I ruined the intermission in some capacity. And so I felt bad. And then, like, the interview happened, and then I put the phone down, and then I joined the march. And that's when this video was taking place, was after the David Feldman show. Or rather, I should say, the David motherfucking Feldman show took place, is when I rejoined the march. Yo, my fucking feet. Oh, my God. So anyway, I had fun on Feldman's show yesterday. Hopefully he, has me back at some point. And I enjoy the professionalism that his show provides, as well as the platform for me to say what I think. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that I destroyed that intermission. Like, it's a good intermission. I was like, wow, that's pretty nice animation. I destroyed it. It's gone. It's done. It's crazy. All right. So anyway. So everything's great. Energy levels are still very high. And we are going through alternative routes at this point because, you know, switching it up a little bit. We go through different areas. And so we're going around the city, some of the major roads. More and more people are joining us. And then we're going to get to residential neighborhoods pretty soon. And again, as I've been describing, and there's my hand, by the way. Good stuff. So right over here, by the way, is the liquor store. You know, so I'm just saying there's a lot of cars in the parking lot. So I'm sure a lot of people were trying their best to prepare for the evening. But again, a lot of people have been joining these marches. Hello, Brian Hamilton in the chat. You're using your full name here. I'm in Elizabeth City. This shiz is crazy. It's absolutely fucking crazy. Have you been attending all or any of the protesting? Feel free to respond at your leisure. Anyway, so we're by the liquor store here. More and more people are showing up. More and more people are coming in on intersections, meeting with us. And then so there's a really nice chant of people dancing, telling all the officers to take their badges off, which is great. So I'm going to play this one. Right, and so there's a lot of coppers following us, right? And they're like everywhere. And so that was pretty funny. And so then we start marching back toward downtown. So as you can see, we get some B-roll here. I love the B-roll, you know. I'm thinking about, at some point, uploading all of my little clips into one continuous video. I might do that. But as for right now, for this, I'm just doing B-roll. But yeah, so we start marching back into downtown. The crowd is growing continuously. People are literally getting out of their cars and into the streets, which is pretty nice. There's Domino's over there, which I do not consume, as they put meat in their sauce, which I think is very disgusting. Anyway, so we're marching toward downtown, and that's what's happening. So we're 30 minutes before curfew. We're going through residential neighborhoods. And, it's pretty good. Everyone's, like, super pumped. Everyone's super, like, excited. Everyone's super into it. Everyone's super, super duper into it. People are, again, getting out of their houses into the streets. And it's pretty cool. So, and more people are joining us. This is probably the largest the crowd was. The highest energy so far that I have seen at these protests. People were very angry. People were very loud. About that. They put meat in their sauce. Domino's. Yeah, my brother worked there at some point at that specific Domino's, like at this one right up here. And he told me that they put meat in their sauce. So I don't know if he's that's real, or if he's dumb and was trolling me because I'm a vegetarian and that's like what siblings do, I guess. But I don't eat at Domino's, so meat flavor, I don't even know what that is. But I think they put meat in their sauce. So anyway, 10 minutes before curfew, we're arriving at the intersection that is leading us toward the public safety building. And so again, this is 10 minutes before curfew. And I want to say, for the last 2 days before this, the police started to enforce the curfew at around 10. And so the idea that we're out 10 minutes before curfew, which is 8, everyone's fine with that. Everyone's chill. So we go to the public safety building. And so there's cops on the roof. This cop here had a thin blue line patch. I was talking to Ford Fisher at this point, and he said he got a picture of this officer right here. I don't know why I'm pointing my finger. Of that officer right there wearing a thin blue line patch. So, I just want to be very explicit that these small town police officers are 100% fascist. There is no humanity. And I know I got into this last night. Or not last night, but yesterday morning. Well, and last night. But cops are not humans. I need you to understand this. I need you to stop treating them like people. They're not your brother. Your brother's dead. They're not your father. Your father's dead. They're not your sister. Your sister's dead. I understand what it's like, right, to lose a loved one unexpectedly, right? And I'm telling you this right now. This is not your father anymore. This is not your brother anymore. This is not your sister. This is not your son. Your son has passed away, and they have been replaced by a fucking, a husk of cells that is designed and trained to kill people. That is what the thin blue line represents. When you wear a thin blue line patch, right, after some of your coworkers murdered someone in cold blood with assault weapons, what you are saying is, I've got the back of a murderer. My best friend is a murderer, and I'm proud of them. That's what you're saying. So I want to be very explicit. But yeah, these motherfuckers were all over the roof, staring down at us. It was very interesting. And they do this thing where they're like, And then sometimes they go looking down. It's like, yep. Just holding on to something. This is like me when anyway. So the curfew, they start doing the thing where they announce the curfew over the loudspeaker. And so I go over here to check for police in this direction. And there's very little police presence. And this is what I'm under the presumption of, is that at 8 o'clock is when all the people from the college, and again, I want to be very clear here, that there is a potential violation of the Third Amendment. Everyone who was staying at college dormitories in Elizabeth City was kicked out of their dorms, and their dorms were used to quarter soldiers from the United States military, which I refer to with the police department. So that is a potential violation of the Third Amendment. And I want to be very clear about that. So they're violating the First Amendment by restricting our right to peaceful assembly. They're violating the Second Amendment by not having a well-regulated militia. These soldiers and goons are not well-regulated. They are not well-trained. And so, again, it's not a well-regulated militia. So that's against the Second Amendment. They are kicking kids out of dormitories at college. So that's against the Third Amendment. They are stealing people's megaphones and other adjacent property. That's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. I could keep going. These cops in Elizabeth City right now are probably violating the whole entire Constitution and the Bill of Rights and probably every amendment since then. So I want to be very clear. These motherfuckers are stealing, they are looting, they are rioting. And so around 25 minutes after curfew, again, this is the street parallel to where everyone is. There's no cops here at all. There's none. So what I am presuming is around 8 is when they get up from their little, college, because the college is across town, and they start traveling to wherever the protests are at 8, at 8 o'clock. So they usually get here by 9, and they've got school buses, they've got all that fucking shit. I found this out this morning. My ex is there with the National Guard. Well, good job on the ex, I should say. Oh yeah, the mayor of Elizabeth City, I just want to say this. The mayor of Elizabeth City, she's a fucking bitch. She is disgusting. She is evil. She is a scum bag. And I say that with all due motherfucking respect. Anyone on the city council who supports this curfew is a scum bag. Disgusting, murderer, adjacent loser. And they are going to get people killed. And I'm going to go into that very soon. So 40 minutes after curfew, police are starting to show up. At this point, now, we are under the presumption that this is Tommy Wooten, the sheriff. This is an educated guess based on the head shape. And let me get another photograph of Tommy Wooten here. A lot of people were not sure if that was Tommy Wooten. And I am under the presumption that it is Tommy Wooten because of the head shape. So this is a great photograph here. Amazing. Give me a second. So I want you to look at this head shape. So this is Tommy Wooten, the sheriff who hired a murderer and who has been defending murderers, Pasquotank County Sheriff. So this is his head shape. I want you to look at the hair. I want you to look at the ear. I want you to look at the lack of a chin and all that stuff, right? And then I want you to look at this, right? I want you to compare and contrast. Look at the head shape. Look at the fucking head shape. So this is Tommy Wooten in the public safety building. Are they gone yet? Can I go home? I want to go home. Are they gone yet? Are the black people still in the street? What do I do? Are they gone? Please. So these motherfuckers are looking through the blinds. And so, a lot of people are not confirmed that was Tommy Wooten. I am going to say this right now. Head shape, motherfucker. Head shape. Look at the goddamn head shape. That's Tommy ass motherfucking Wooten. I'm telling you that right now. So then they close the blinds, and then they do that thing where they will pluck open one blind with their finger and look through. And so every time they do that, right, we're just we're yelling at them and we're saying why are you afraid of us? And it's just really entertaining. Did I see the video of a guy confronting him with a gas? I did not see that video. So around this point where Wooten looks at us is where shit gets real. Riot cops started lining up about 45 minutes earlier than they did yesterday. And so I'm making some bad decisions here. So I decide, you know what? Cops, they're coming out a little bit early today. And it seems like they're walking up right now. So, okay, I want to do a little compare and contrast between yesterday and the day before yesterday. So the day before yesterday, I dipped when the riot cops showed up. Now, my reasoning is, one, I don't want to get arrested. That's primary. Two, I was really fucking high, and I did not have all of my wits about me in order to deal with a situation like this. Three, I didn't want to get arrested. So I dipped the day before yesterday at this point, you know, in the police escalation timeline. Now, obviously, again, this is about 45 minutes earlier than it was yesterday. And again, I want to remind everyone that Councilmember Adkins told us, don't block the bridge and the curfew will be lifted. Now, again, he did not tell us that the riot police wouldn't try to kill us tonight, but the idea is, oh, don't block the bridge. We listened, and then they use even more force. And I'm going to get into this. This is the part of the segment where shit's going to go down. These motherfuckers drew live weapons with real ammunition and pointed them into bushes, looking for protesters to kill. And I'll show that video in a second here. So just bear with me. They pointed live weapons in bushes looking for protesters to kill. And I'm going to be very explicit. You don't point a live gun. You point a flashlight into a bush, maybe. You don't point a live weapon with live rounds into a bush if you're not looking to kill someone. Because let's imagine someone is in a bush and they move. Well, your instinct, you have your gun in your hand, your fingers on the trigger, you're going to shoot them, right? So if someone was hiding in that location, they could have been murdered. And so that needs to be understood. The mayor, and as far as I'm concerned, the entire city council, including Mr. Adkins, is really borderline on endorsing and supporting the murder of their own citizens. And I'm very serious about that. This shit is fucking ridiculous. It is fucking ridiculous. We are adults. We are grown fucking adults. There were no fucking kids there. We were adults. And these motherfuckers, outside agitators, came into our city and pointed live fucking weapons at us for using our First Amendment right to peacefully assemble. 9 straight days of non-violent, peaceful protests have been met with live ammunition being drawn and potentially pointed at protesters. I need you to understand the severity of this. This is not a situation like in Portland where rioters and looters are setting things on fire. There have been no fires. There have been no violence. There has been no almost suggestions of violence. And I need you to understand that this is the most abhorrent use of force. And there have been people that are here in Elizabeth City that have covered all kinds of protests from Portland to Seattle to New York City to DC, and they have said that they have never seen police response to something like this. There are 30 people, and I need you to understand this because I'm getting a lot of the cop footage here. There were 30 fucking people sitting on the fucking sidewalk. 30 fucking people, including press. Now, maybe after the riot cops started to get a little bit fucking crazy, they pushed us back into residential neighborhoods and people started getting out of their houses and offering people places to stay and offering people supplies. But at this point, there were about 30 people, including press, and they spend millions of dollars. Why isn't the mayor requesting that they use these millions of dollars to fix all the potholes in the city? Why isn't the city council requesting that they use these millions of dollars to provide, subsidies for the high electricity bills, because our electricity rates kilowatt per hour have been going up in Elizabeth City? Why aren't they doing that? Instead, they're wasting millions of dollars on this shit to treat grown adults like children. So I need to be I'm getting to the point where I'm going to scream very soon, both in the video timeline and right now. So just be very, very clear with that. Woo! So yeah, they're getting really rowdy, and they're continuing to come.
We got the pigs coming up. We are outside of public safety at this current moment. Now, as I said earlier, Councilmember Adkins told us that as long as we don't block the bridge, they'll lift the curfew tomorrow.
Now, I want to be very clear. They did not lift the curfew. We did not block the bridge. So we did what was requested. We did not block the bridge, right? And the curfew was not lifted. So again, I want to be very clear. Either the rest of the city council and the mayor manipulated and lied to Mr. Adkins, or all of them lied to us. Those are the options here. Those are the only options. Now, again, I'm very questioning of authority. So I think it's very possible that Mr. Adkins lied to us. I think it's very, very possible. Um, I think I understand why a city council member would want to try to lead protest movements. And I also understand why they would try to infiltrate protest movements and sow discontent, disinformation, and lie. So I want to be very clear. Do I respect Mr. Adkins at this stage? Sure, maybe more than everyone else. But at this point, I'm very skeptical of whether or not he's on our side because he lied to us. He said the curfew would be lifted. Now, the curfew was changed from 8 o'clock to midnight, but they also instituted a rule where you have to file a 15-day in advance permit for a protest. That's not happening. That's not going to happen. And I can guarantee you that I will be speaking to Mr. Adkins today if I see him. So I'm just letting you know that. So they start coming up. And
Walking right there. I don't know when I'm gonna stop.
so yeah, I'm making some bad decisions
I am
here.
walking
So they're coming in and I'm walking toward them, making some bad decisions.
Toward the riot police. Maybe the worst decision of my life, but I'm doing it anyway.
Possible.
How's it going? So yeah, we're just walking right there. I don't know when I'm gonna stop. So
We're gonna stop like a little bit by this track.
sure.
So yeah, they get pretty close. And so now this is the thing where now at this point they get on a loudspeaker and threaten to arrest journalists and members of the media. And they start doing like the little Call of Duty tagline, you know, where you press like the fucking button and then the fucking voice command happens, right? So I'm gonna play this video.
So as you can see, the pigs are fucking around in my neighborhood. I am a grown adult, and they're trying to tell me to go to home.
I talked to this guy at one point. I did like a little interview on his little stream. Maybe I'll find that later and show y'all.
Officers, is all this necessary when y'all murdered a black man?
So yeah, they're standing there, they're threatening us, and then in between these clips, they threaten to arrest journalists and members of the media, including press. And so someone next to me says, you know, like specifies that they've got like a press exemption. And that later on, they like literally started chasing press. They chased me as well, and I'm gonna get on with that. But they chased both myself and members of the media, like, and I'm gonna get into that very soon. And so they start moving at this point.
So as you can see, the police are rioting in the streets of Elizabeth City, violating the First Amendment of the United States.
This is a riot.
They're the riot.
Y'all scared, right? This is how
And that now I wanna like, I just like again I wanna like put the human angle here. I wanna like the human angle. Now again, proof that these are not humans. Look at how they're dressed. Like I zoomed in on it at some point. Like look at how these people dress. Would you ever consider dressing like this? Like let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be real. Let's be real. Right? Who dresses like this? Who carries around like again, what is with the fucking shields? Again, I want to remind everyone, behind me, I'm in the front of the crowd at this point, making some bad decisions. Right, so I'm making some bad decisions. I'm at the front of the crowd. But behind me are approximately 30 people. 30 peaceful adults that are just sitting around talking to each other. This, millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars being wasted on this for 30 peaceful protesters, basically what amounts to having a small party.
To the United States.
This is a riot.
They're the riot.
Y'all scared, right? This is how it goes. You escalate every fucking time.
As you can see, I'm in the front line here, making some bad decisions, but that's what life's about, man.
So at this point, you know, they you know, at this point, you know, shit's starting to get a little bit, you know, more, I'll say more, scary, I should say. So we get into the dark. Now, I don't know if it's coincidence, but some of the streetlights turn off as the riot cops are coming toward us. I don't know if that's coincidence, right? But, like, you know, I've got that paranoid brain. So they're coming toward us. At this point, I'm, like, screaming at them. And, again, I'm still in the front of the line. I'm making some bad decisions. So, okay. Now, just for the sake of, like, a potential alternate universe. Now, this video is being recorded right after this video is done being recorded. and I'm not sure if it's in the video or if it's visible in the video, but in between or during, you know, this video, some members of the crowd of the rioters back here started pointing at me. Now, again, I want to be very clear. I was making very, very bad decisions. But so people behind the rioting, you know, the riot shield people, they call them riot shields, right? They're literally definitively defined as rioters. You would not have a shield of that persuasion if you're not a rioter. It's called a riot shield. It's not a safety shield. It's not an anti-riot shield. It is a riot shield. So these are rioters. But anyway, so they're pointing at me. And so, like, my video where I say making some bad decisions, this was almost my last decision. This is almost my last decision because they almost fucking got me. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Right after this video stopped recording, they almost got me. So, like, before I fucking uploaded this, they, like, very, 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 very close to getting me. So, that was pretty scary. But anyway, I'm gonna play this.
Some bad decisions, but that's what life's about, man.
So I make some bad decisions here. And so I get into it. I'm yelling at these motherfuckers. I'm going in. Bodan, I'm going to be honest, Bodan. You supporting neo-Nazis and just Nazis and you supporting Adolf Hitler in this chat is surprising. And I'm going to ask you to please shut the fuck up about that shit. No, these people are not just doing their jobs. That's not true. If someone tells you to kill someone and you kill someone, you're a murderer. Like, unless they've got a gun to your head and they say they're going to kill you and your whole family unless you do this, which I'm guaranteeing you is not the case with police, you are just as garbage, if not more garbage, than the one organizing the hit. So no, don't defend Nazis. Don't defend Adolf Hitler. Don't defend Nazi Germany. That's not what we're about in this chat room. Please shut the fuck up. Thank you. All right, so at this point, the rioters are incoming, and I'm getting pretty heated. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I was getting a little too heated. I was getting a little bit too heated. And so, you know, I'm just throwing that out there. But I was getting pretty heated.
Live! Do y'all live here? Go home! We don't like you! Get out of my city! Go home!
Yo, I just gotta say, the fucking move back bullshit. Like, again, on the human level, on the human motherfucking level, right? Imagine someone walks up to you. All right, bro, I'm going to give you this big ass shield for our riot, and you're going to say move back, like, over and over and over again for the next 45 minutes. And you're like, hell yeah, that sounds like fun. You know, I'm just, again, on the human level, I'm trying to understand how a human being is capable of something so stupid.
Go home, outside agitator! Outside agitator! Go home!
I also want to remind everyone, these soldiers, the U.S. military that is occupying colleges and kicking kids out of their homes, these are all from 200 to 300 miles away. So again, one of the common tropes that the media will use and that police will use is that whenever there's protesting, outside agitators come in and start blowing shit up and setting things on fire. And then they use that as an excuse and a defense to attack the actual citizens that are peaceful. Right? Now again, that's not happened here. That is not happening here. There is no violence. There's no suggestion of violence. These are peaceful protesters, right? But what we do have are pigs, volunteers from 200 miles away. 200 miles. Not 20 miles. Not 20 minutes. Not 200 fucking centimeters. 200 miles. 200 miles. 200, and again, I'm going to say it again, motherfucking miles. Right? And you've got outlets like CNN and ABC talking about outside agitators. Bitch, motherfucker, these are the outside agitators. So that's what I'm screaming at them here.
You're an outside agitator!
So I gotta say, this person over here, super brave, God bless them. I'm probably like the second or third closest to the front at this point. So what I'm doing here, and again, I'm making some bad decisions. Now I'm gonna be very clear. Do not do this at home, folks. Like, I want to be very, 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 very clear, right? Do not do this at home. Do not go to the front of a protest. Do not like scream at riot cops. Don't do that unless you're a crazy motherfucker. And so I'm a crazy motherfucker. So again, I'm continuing here. So this guy over here aims their gun at some point. Now again, I don't know if it's being caught. I'm gonna try to pay attention, but I did see some people around this section behind the rioters with the shields. Some of the rioters in the back were pointing at me specifically. Some of them were pointing at the other people, but some of these people over here were pointing at me. And I want to be very explicit about that. And I don't know if that's visible here. So as you can see, this guy aims their gun. Now, I believe that this is a less lethal weapon, but it's still a weapon. They aimed their gun at an empty street. And so again, and then they stand at this this crosswalk.
Put the gun down, you fucking child!
So about like, I'm not gonna lie, about like 10 seconds after this recording, now y'all know like billiards, right? Where you like, you know, where you got the stick and you shoot the 8-ball and like it breaks everything up in the triangle. Like that's basically what they did, right? Someone shot the ball and they broke up in the triangle, right? And so about like within 10 seconds after this video took place, like the motherfuckers that pointed at me like start chasing me. Right now, again, I want to remind everyone, I'm like either second, third, maybe at this point fourth in the crowd, like as far as closest to the rioters. And so the rioters break loose and they start rioting and they start looting. They start snatching people. And it's pretty fucking bad. It's pretty fucking bad. And so one of these guys, like over here, starts chasing me. And so I bolt. I'm out. I'm done. I'm out. So I get the fuck out of there. They start chasing me. And so I run like down the street. And so I come back at this point because they stopped chasing me and they snatched someone else instead, and they went back to their little position. So that was my first time being chased by a cop in Elizabeth City. And it probably won't be the last, but it was pretty fucking scary. But it gets a lot scarier, and I will explain why for the rest of the night. That was like one of the least scary things to happen, is the first time the cops chased me. Yes, the first time, folks. And so yeah, so here's this little video.
Pigs just snatched someone.
So I'm like out of breath. I'm horrified. I'm like, you know, I'm thinking to myself, should I go home? Should I continue to make bad decisions? So I choose to continue to make bad decisions.
I'm staying a little bit back. They just broke the line, snatched someone, violated the First Amendment.
And so yeah, so that's what happened there. I'm gonna, like, I interviewed someone who got arrested last night. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post this as a full clip on my channel instead of doing commentary over it, because I don't want to detract from their experience, and I think it's important as for just, you know, for the sake of uploading the raw footage. But I will upload that as a raw video after the stream at some point. So anyway, so at this point I'm staying back. I go to recon parallel streets like I was doing earlier. They have school buses, so you see at least 2 of them. So they bust in, again, outside agitators were bust in from 200 miles away to snatch, to riot in the streets of Elizabeth City, and to loot and steal people's property and people's lives, potentially. So then I decide I stopped recording videos because I didn't want to have my camera on me. At this point, I didn't want to be in a situation where I'm holding my camera and they start chasing me. This person was arrested the day before yesterday. They were arrested. They were the one on the loudspeaker the day before yesterday that the cops chased when I did footage yesterday. And so that's who this is. So they got released and they talk about that. But I want to upload that as a separate video so that it's not like, you know, bogged down by the rest of this. So I stop having my phone out because I don't want to be encumbered. And so again, I decide, all right, so option 1, leave, go home. Option 2, make bad decisions and stay. And so I choose option 2 at this point. Also, one of the other things is my route home right? My route home. Now, I want to be honest. That's my route home. This direction is how I get home. So another...
As you can see, they got fucking buses lined up down the street.
Right. So another aspect of these bad decisions that I'm making is that, like, I literally, like, can't get home because there's rioters occupying the streets. Again, outside agitators bust in from 200 miles away rioting through the streets. I felt unsafe because there were no law enforcement officials enforcing the laws, and they just had a bunch of rioters coming in from 200 miles away trying to fucking attack people. So that's another thing that happened. And so I tweet this out. I'm safe. Twitter threads. What is going on there? I'm safe and got chased, but escaped and I'm on the way home. So again, I covered the first part where they chased me. And the second part where they chased me is where, again, I was not at the front. I was not like, the second or third or whatever person in the front. I was in a group that was like in the middle of the street. They were at the end of the street. The press was with the police for the most part. And then you had a bunch of other people at the other end of the street. And I was with a group in the middle of the street, just kind of like trying to eyeball them, keep in mind what's going on. And so again, they break the line at some point and like everyone starts running. And so I just start running. I get the fuck out of there. I'm, at this point, I say goodbye to everyone who I know is still there. I tell them, like, I'm going to go home. I'll let you know when I'm safe, all that stuff. And so I start saying goodbye to people and I start going home. And I want to be like, this is not the end of the story. This is not the end of the story. So I want to open up another tweet here. And this is extremely important. So Ford Fisher was on the scene documenting some of those protests. And on the way home, he saw a sheriff, who knows, an outside agitator, pulling a live firearm, a pistol of some description, a live firearm, and pointing it into a bush. Right? And this needs to be shown. As you can see, this motherfucker has a live firearm pointing into the bush. A live firearm. Now, why am I telling you that is extremely bad? Well, one, again, let's assume you're a cop, right? Let's assume you want to kill people. You are a cop specifically because you want to kill people. Why else would you want to be a cop? There is no other reason why you would be a police officer other than you enjoy inflicting pain and suffering on people that don't deserve it. Okay, plain and simple. Again, 80% of police voted for Donald Trump. 40% of police spouses self-reportedly are abused by their police spouse, right? That's self-reportedly, so the number is much higher. Now, again, if there was a protester in this bush hiding from the rioters, which, again, there are rioters and looters running through the streets of Elizabeth City wearing blue uniforms, gangs being bussed in from 250 miles away, rioting through the streets with guns, right? Again, if someone was in that bush and they moved, right? And then, like, the bush moved, or it's like, that cop would have probably fired the weapon. They had their finger on the trigger. They probably would have fired the weapon. And whoever was in that bush, if someone was in that bush, would be dead right now. So I want to be very clear. This is an extreme escalation of violence. An extreme escalation of violence. And I'm going to be showing this video to every single person I see at these protests. I'm going to be making sure the mayor is aware of these videos. I'm going to be sending these videos to everyone on the city council, and they are going to know that they are responsible for almost killing their own civilians. They are responsible for nearly getting their own voters murdered and massacred by outside agitators that are just here looking for trouble. Again, why would you volunteer to go on a 200-mile road trip to a city you've never been to and never heard of, right? Because you want to kill people, because you want to hurt people. There is no other reason to do so. You would not do this for any other reason than to inflict pain and suffering on people that do not deserve it. So the reason why I mentioned this, and I'm so heavy about this, because on the way home, right now I mentioned before that my way home was being blocked by these buses. So what I ended up doing is taking a very roundabout detour through the residential neighborhoods. And so there are cops in these residential neighborhoods patrolling the streets, going up and down, right? The streets looking for people to snatch, in my estimation. Now, I'm not going to risk playing that. I'm not going to risk, like, what if they're just there to protect my safety. No, they're not. If a cop would have saw me on my way home, I would have been snatched. I would not be doing the show right now. So multiple points on my way home, I run from police cars. And I hide behind buildings. At one point, I literally jumped into a bush. I hid behind a bush for like maybe 2 minutes or so. And I want to be very clear, is police cars were not driving to the scene. They were not driving to the action. They were slowly driving through the streets, parking in an intersection for like 30 seconds to a minute and a half, and then, going somewhere else. They are looking for people to snatch. They are looking for people. They are going to radio people's whereabouts. They are looking for people to hurt, maim, and snatch and kill. That's what they're doing. And so again, I was hiding in a bush last night from police. And then I get home and see this video of a police officer pointing a loaded live weapon into a bush. Now, thankfully, this was not the bush that I was hiding in, but I was hiding in a bush from the rioters that came into my city last night, and that could have been me in this bush, and I could have died. And I want to be very clear about that this is unacceptable. Everyone on the city council should resign, plain and simple. I'm going to be honest. The mayor should resign. Everyone in the sheriff's department should resign. They have all failed, unequivocally failed their duties and responsibilities to protect the citizens of Elizabeth City. This is a small, peaceful motherfucking protest, and they had people point live guns into bushes to search for people to kill. Okay, so I want to be very fucking clear. All right, every single member of the city council needs to fucking resign. They need to leave Elizabeth City. Move the fuck out. You have betrayed your fucking fellow civilians. You are a traitor by all definitions of the word. The mayor needs to leave Elizabeth City. Get the fuck out of my goddamn city, because this is the hell that you have unleashed on our civilians. And why? Because y'all motherfuckers came into my neighborhood, shot and killed someone down the motherfucking street, and are afraid to even hint that you have any culpability for that. The mayor, the sheriff, all the deputies involved, they're trying to ping pong back and forth. It's not our fault, it's their fault. No, it's not our fault, it's their fault. No, it's not our fault, it's their fault. How about it's all of the fucking above? You stupid, dumb fuck wastes of goddamn fucking oxygen. Get the fuck out of my fucking city. The fucking mayor, the fucking city council, the motherfucking police department, the sheriff's department, and all these motherfuckers from fucking every other goddamn motherfucking county in motherfucking North Carolina, these outside agitating rioters being bussed in to my motherfucking city to try to kill a fucking crowd of 30 peaceful protesters. No one has guns in our crowd. No one is pointing weapons at the police. No one is driving into the police. No one is threatening to kill the police. But they are threatening to kill us. And the fucking city fucking council is responsible. All of them. Every single fucking one of them is responsible. The mayor is responsible. Every single fucking police officer that is in Elizabeth City is responsible. The fucking sheriff of Pasquotank County, all of them, march out in handcuffs. Not only do I want you scumbag motherfuckers to leave my goddamn city, not only do I want you scumbag useless pieces of shit to resign in shame, but I need you to be marched out in motherfucking handcuffs, because you are trying to kill not only me, but my fucking neighbors. You have killed my fucking neighbors, and all of you are too fucking afraid to accept accountability and culpability for cold-blooded murder. That's what happened with Andrew Brown. They had motherfuckers on pickup trucks with assault rifles, and they shot and fucking executed Andrew Brown down the fucking street from me. And then this is their bullshit. They're not going to accept responsibility. They're not going to fire people. They're going to bus in from 300 miles away, dumb motherfuckers with live weapons to try to hunt down and kill protesters that have been nothing but peaceful. All of them need to fucking go. March out in handcuffs right fucking now. And I'm sorry for fucking screaming, but again, that could have been me in that bush. I had to hide from police on my way home. Again, alright, here's an alternative. The curfew is to keep people safe, right? Curfew, people gotta be safe. Right? Okay, well you got all these buses. You got all these motherfucking buses. How about you drive us home? Drive us fucking home. You got buses. You got fucking school buses. Drive us home. If your thing, oh, we're going to protect and serve the curfews to keep people safe at night. All right. I'm calling your bluff. Give me a ride back. You got school buses, bro. Give me a ride home. Why do you have a school bus if you're not going to go around town dropping people off? Right. They have a school bus because they want to use force. They have a school bus because they would rather spend millions of fucking dollars spending on rioters and thugs with guns to try to pressure and kill civilians. Why can't we fix the fucking potholes? Why can't we regulate electricity? Why can't we have clean fucking water? That's right, Elizabeth City has poisoned fucking water, by the way, at least in my neighborhood. I noticed that in some of the more upper scale neighborhoods, they don't have poisoned water. But in my neighborhood, the water is fucking poisoned. But we can't afford clean water, just can't do it. You can afford to waste millions of motherfucking dollars on this dumb bullshit circus show, but you can't give us free fucking goddamn clean motherfucking water? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. And if anyone that lives in Elizabeth City watches this video, and you are like, whoa, this person's a little I'd like to see how you would feel if you had live weapons pointed at you. I'd like to see how you would feel if you have been nothing but peaceful and these motherfuckers are pointing guns at you. I'd like to see how you would feel if your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your cousin was shot in cold blood on international television, and then everyone who's responsible is trying not to take the blame. How would you fucking feel? Because if you are afraid to stand up for what is right at this moment in time, I'm sorry, you're a fucking coward. And I'm not talking to the elderly people. I'm not talking to the kids. I'm not talking to people with disabilities that can't go out and protest. I'm talking to the Facebook people. I'm talking to the motherfuckers that go on Facebook and call, like we had some motherfucker last night, come out of their house into the crowd and call people the N-word over and over and over again. And like shirtless, disgusting, beer belly fucking shit for brains. I'm talking about these motherfuckers. I'm talking about the conservatives. Because this is a southern town. Half of the people here voted for Donald fucking Trump. Okay, I need you to understand. These motherfuckers are crazy. Okay, all of them are batshit fucking insane, and they all need to get their fucking shit together. The mayor, resign, march out in handcuffs. Everyone on the city council, resign, march out in handcuffs. You are responsible. If someone was killed by cops last night, which they very much could have been, you would be responsible, and therefore you are just as responsible for these people that you allowed to enter our city. They wouldn't be here if it weren't for a curfew. They wouldn't be here if there was no curfew. So anyone who's on the city council, I'm sorry, shut the fuck up and do something. Shut the fuck up and do something. Law and order? Bitch motherfucker, there is no law and order anymore. There is no fucking law and order. They drove down with pickup trucks and assault weapons and shot and killed my neighbor in cold blood. Law and order is out of the fucking window. So if you're telling me you're a member of the city council, oh, my hands are tied, can't do anything, don't have the votes, resign. Resign. Do it. Resign. Join us. Join the people of Elizabeth City. Stop sitting on the fucking fence. Resign. Or get the fuck out of the goddamn fucking way, because I'm sick and fucking tired of these rioters being bussed in to my goddamn small goddamn motherfucking city of peaceful motherfucking goddamn protesters to threaten to kill us. I am tired of that fucking shit. And why? because these motherfuckers came into my goddamn motherfucking neighborhood and killed someone in my fucking neighborhood. That is why we are protesting. We are not protesting because someone raised the taxes by 0.2%. We are not protesting because, you know, we need potholes to be filled, which are all perfectly valid reasons to protest. We are protesting because y'all motherfuckers came into our fucking neighborhood and killed one of our neighbors. That is why we're protesting. We're not protesting over a traffic ticket. We're not protesting over a fucking speeding ticket. We're not protesting because, you know, like a stop sign, you know, was hit and a new one needs to be installed. We are protesting because a gang of white supremacists drove into my neighborhood and massacred one of my neighbors in a school zone. That is why we're protesting, right? We need to understand that, right? Peaceful protesters have done nothing. We have done nothing. And we have had outside agitators from upwards of 300 miles away bust in with live weapons, and they unholstered those weapons and pointed them in bushes with the intent to kill people that were hiding from them. Why do you think people would hide from people with live weapons? Huh, I wonder. Law and order? My fucking asshole. Shut the fuck up. Do your goddamn job. Pieces of fucking dog shit. Anyway, that's my segment. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, and maybe this is something I should not say on a live stream. Like, and in fact, I'm not gonna say it on a live stream. I'm not going to. But like, what the fuck, man? JL, $10. I have come to the right place. WikiFeet did not lead me astray. Oh, thank you so much. CJ Fernandez, $5. In high school, I wanted to be a cop because I thought I could help people. Then I got a security job at a hospital. I've been working in the medical field. That's awesome. I'm glad that you made the right decision there. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna show this video of the cops drawing a live weapon to any member of the city council that I see today at the protesting. I'm gonna show it to protesters that I see. I'm going to make sure that as many people as possible in the whole world know that these motherfuckers from 300 miles away unholstered their weapons to try to shoot and kill people that were hiding from them, fearing for their lives. Was almost a death sentence. Again, I was hiding in a bush, right? And again, like, it could have been me that was in that bush. It very well could have been, right? Like, if I see motherfucking people, like, you know, patrolling, and I can't run, right? And running makes noise, right? Hiding in a bush is a good option. Hiding behind a house is a good option, right? So it's like, these motherfuckers were patrolling alleyways, searching for hiding spots. What the fuck is that shit, man? The fuck is that shit? Can you give us the link to share? What link? What are you requesting? Can you show the video again? Yes. So this is a video that Ford Fisher got of police investigating in alleyways with a live weapon being drawn and being held in firing position as they search through a bush. They pointed the gun down into a bush. A live weapon because they thought someone might be hiding from us. Maybe we can get a free kill. That's what they thought. Hey, maybe I can up my kills. Maybe I can get my 18th kill today. I'll just take my gun out and look in a bush. Maybe. That's what they did. It's the mayor's fault. It's the city council's fault. It's the police's fault. It's Tommy Wooten's fault. It's all of these motherfucking fault. Roy Cooper, where you at? Joe Biden, where you at, motherfucker? Where you at? I don't see you.